Hello YouTubers, and welcome to another Doctor Who Classic Series action figure review. Today I am looking at the Classic Series Daleks from the recent SFX Daleks wave. This is a general release, not a Forbidden Planet exclusive. You can buy these in most good toy shops. As an aside, just a quick thank you to everyone who supported my channel problems video. I'm happy to report that my channel has now been fixed. It was fixed on Saturday, so it took about a week for them to do it. Everything is back to normal. I can upload videos as normal, so it's all been sorted. So I'm so glad, and I really must thank you all for your support and saying you'd subscribe to a new channel if it came to it. Thankfully, it hasn't come to that. And everything is back to normal, so thank you ever so much, and expect quite a few reviews coming up soon, because there's a lot of stuff coming out, so I'll talk a bit more about that later. So, let's start off with looking at the Daleks. So, here we've got the 5 different classic Daleks, 2 from the 60s, 2 from the 70s, and 1 from the 80s. So we have the Dalek Invasion of Earth Dalek, the Power of the Daleks Dalek, the Planet of the Daleks Dalek, Death to the Daleks Dalek, and the Revelation of the Daleks Dalek, the Necros version. Only one of these is really a brand new Dalek variation. The others have sort of been released before, but they are slightly different to what you'd have seen in the sort of Forbidden Planet box sets. And I will go into that in a bit more detail. Obviously, the gimmick with these Daleks is the fact that they talk and have sound effects. Now, on the packaging, it says about, authentic Dalek sound effects from, the 60s, from the 70s and the 80s, or whatever. And contrary to popular belief, I've seen this on a few reviews, none of the Dalek voices on these toys are from the episodes. I know a few people have said, oh yeah, they've got voices from the episodes. No, completely wrong. They aren't from the episodes. The lines of dialogue that are being spoken, the lines are from the episodes, or from the period, but the actual voice has been re-recorded, which is a bit of a shame, I have to say. I was really hoping we would get proper sound clips from the episodes. Instead, we've just got someone imitating a Dalek. Also, another thing that I'll point out is that none of the Daleks' speech are necessarily episodic. So, the Dalek Invasion of Earth Dalek doesn't have lines specifically from that story. The Power of the Daleks one doesn't have lines specifically from that story. These two actually share the same voice chip and the same sound clips, and then these 3 all share the same. So the 60s get their own, and then 70s and 80s have just been thrown together. I'm sure this is just a cost thing, obviously, because it would be very expensive to do individual sound chips. I'm going to start off, I'll just go through them in era order. The articulation, it's the same on all of them. They're Daleks. We all know what Daleks are like. Heads can do 360 degree turn, fine. Eye stalk lifts up and down, fine. Ball jointed plunger, ball jointed gun, on 3 wheels, back and forth, and that one obviously rotates all the way around. Done, sorted. So that's the articulation on every Dalek figure. So I shan't be going into that anymore. One thing to note with these Daleks is there is a slight change in the construction. Not sure why, but it's a lot better. In some ways, the eye stalk is no longer removable. Now, I kind of like the removable eye stalks, because in animations and things, you can have their eyes blown up and all sorts. That's cool. But alas, they've decided to stop that, and there's actually a silver rod that goes through here that stops the eye stalk coming off. So it's kind of good, because obviously it stops any looseness and, anything like that. I have actually got a few things I will say about the Daleks here. I didn't buy any of these online, because there were a lot of reports of people getting Daleks with really bad bent eye stalks and all sorts. This Dalek actually did have a bent eye stalk when I bought it. it was the least bent in the shop, and I saw it and I was going through and I was like, all right, I'll get this one. And then when I got out the box, I then realised, because I hadn't noticed, because I was being stupid, that the neck bins were all misaligned. So I actually had to unscrew the base and unscrew the head and swap all the pieces around, which isn't great. So I wouldn't really get these online. I think you'd be better off going to a shop and actually seeing them and scrutinising them to make sure you don't get any dodgy Dalek neck bins and bent eye stalks or plungers. I mean, the eye stalks, it's very simple. I mean, if you're young, get an adult to do this for you. Little pot of boiling water, just stick the eye stalk in till it goes soft, and then just straighten it out. And then you're sorted. Of course, this is the first time we've had the sort of drone Dalek from this story released. And about time too, because lots of people have been waiting for these. I've never been overly keen on these Daleks, but actually having one on the shelf, they do look really nice. And I do like the sort of silver eye stalk business going on. It is pretty much the Dead Planet Dalek that we've seen before, with just the subtle differences. So, like I said, we have the silver ball of the eye stalk. The rings are obviously closer to the end of the eye, and you have the black strip on there as well. And of course, the other difference is the dish on the back. Unlike the other Daleks from this story that have been released, it's just grey as opposed to being silver. I'm not quite sure why that is. When I got it out of the box, I thought I'd got one that hasn't been painted properly, but actually they are all like this. They are all grey. Not sure why. I think they should be silver, really. It doesn't really detract from it, but it just seems strange considering that the other ones were silver. The other bit of difference, I guess, with the construction of this Dalek, obviously in this story they do have the thicker bases with then the thin strip on top. But this is actually one whole piece. As you can see, it is all one mould. The thin bit and the big bit are all joined together, unlike the previous ones, which literally was just the thin one on top of the thick one. The reason for that is, of course, the electronics, because the wires and the chips and things need to travel through to the button here. So they had to change that. But, you know, it's not noticeable, really. Only from the side, from the front, you couldn't tell. So, I mean, I like the Dalek. I think this Dalek is probably the one that I would really recommend getting, because it's obviously the only time we've had a drone released thus far, and it is the most different one compared to other releases that we've had. So if you know what I mean, it's the most different Dalek in this wave compared to the Daleks we've had released previously. All the other ones, you know, they're very similar to other Daleks. So I'll just go into talking about the voice. Now, for some reason, the voice feature on this one doesn't work very well. I don't know if it's something to do with the button. I don't know if I may have done something when I removed the head, but I don't think it was, because it was always a bit dodgy when I took out the box. I mean, I'm not really worried about that, and like I said, it's the same voice as the Power Dalek. So I'll just show you how it doesn't work sometimes. See? And it is on. I made sure I switched them all on beforehand. Yeah. Sometimes you've got sometimes it depends on... Oh. Thank you. Sometimes it just depends on how you press the button. It is a bit strange. I don't know why it has gone like that, or why it is like that. I have tried to look into it, but I'm not really worried. So I'll show you the voice effect using the Power Dalek, just because it's going to be a lot easier. Basically, if you've bought the Chase set, you know what you're going to get with this Dalek. It's basically the Chase Dalek. However, this time, thankfully, they have fixed the eye stalk if any of you do have the chase set, you'll remember that the rings and the eye stalk were from the Dead Planet Dalek, which obviously wasn't correct, but they've got it right on this one. Other differences are the dome lights, which are the egg cup lights, which is how it should be, which is really good, so I'm glad they've gone with that this time. Before it was just the sort of the circular lights painted slightly orange. And of course the hemispheres are a darker blue, which is again accurate to the story. For some reason with this one, he does have white ball joints. They shouldn't be white, they should be silver. Not really sure why that has happened, but it doesn't really notice too much. I mean, it's not something I'm overly worried about. This is my favourite variation of Dalek. I've probably said it before. I really do like this colour scheme. So yeah, I mean, if you've got the chase set, you basically know what you're getting with this. So I'll just play you the Dalek voices. I should have said earlier, the voices are activated by the hemisphere on the Dalek's left-hand side. And I'll just go through them all quickly.
Daleks are the masters of all. Daleks will destroy all life. Exterminate. Annihilate. Destroy. Daleks conquer and destroy. Resistance is useless.
There we are. So you get the idea. I think actually the 60s Dalek is probably the better voice out of the lot. It does have a bit of a Peter Hawkins-esque ring to it. And then, of course, if you want to get the Dalek sound effect of the gun going off, you just press it twice.
Exterminate.
Obviously, one thing to note with this is, of course, the Dalek sound effect for the gun is totally wrong. I'll just play it again. Not right at all. That is the 70s gun effect from Genesis of the Daleks. I'm sure they could have got it from somewhere. I'm sure the BBC probably still have it somewhere, because or even could have got it from Big Finish, because Big Finish used the 60s gun noises when they're doing stories with 60s Daleks. So I don't know, maybe it was just cheaper to just use that. Who knows? So this is a shame. So obviously that gun sound effect doesn't work for the Dalek Invasion of Earth Dalek, and it doesn't work for the Power Dalek either. So basically next we've got the Planet of the Daleks version. I was really hoping we'd get the gunmetal grey versions from Day of the Daleks, to be honest. I think there is actually a gunmetal grey one that's still floating around in Planet of the Daleks. But instead what we've basically got is like the Genesis style again. Colour-wise, they're very similar. This one is just a tad darker, but hardly anything. And there are a few differences with the paints between the two. And I have checked it out, and this is accurate, but when I saw it, I thought it was a cock-up. This Dalek has, not only does it have the grey gun, but it also has the grey plunger here. And I saw that yesterday when I got it, and I was like, hey, why is it like that? This can't be right, surely. And I had a look online today, and yeah, there is actually one Dalek who has got that colour scheme. So, you know, it's good that they did that, really, because, you know, otherwise it would have been too much like the Genesis Dalek. And then, of course, there is no silver on the mesh like there is on the Genesis Dalek figure either, so that's slightly different. And another subtle difference is the Dalek fender at the bottom. You may not be able to see this so well on... Oh no, you can get a good look there. As you can see, it's the 2 halves version of the fender. And the top half is painted with a black gloss, and then the bottom is in matte black. I quite like that. It sort of shows that there's slight difference. It shows almost that this is the metal and that's the rubber part that hangs over the bottom to keep the wheels from showing. But again, I think if you've already got the Genesis of the Daleks version before, you may want to pass on this. Obviously, if you're army building, then this is an ideal opportunity to get a loose version, which is, you know, pretty much the same. It's slightly different, but it's, you know, you could get away with it. So if I just play the voice clips for this Dalek.
You are an enemy of the Daleks. Exterminate. Maximum power. Fire. Daleks are the supreme beings in the universe. Seek, locate, exterminate. I obey. Emergency. Alert. Alert. Pursue. Pursue.
I think quite a few of those I actually recognise from Death to the Daleks, to be honest, the sound clips. So, you know, that does work with this one. It's probably not as strong as sort of like the Roy Skelton Dalek voices from Planet of the Daleks. It does have a bit of a Michael Wisher feel. I think it works better coming from the Death Dalek, to be honest. And here's the Planet of the Dalek, well, the 70s and 80s Dalek gun noise.
Exterminate.
Very odd, again. Obviously, that sound effect isn't from Planet of the Daleks. Completely different. It isn't from Death to the Daleks either. It kind of is from Revelation, but it's kind of like they've taken a short snippet of the full gun effect and then sort of looped it. It doesn't sound quite right, so a bit disappointed with the gun effects on this in this range, because none of them really match up, to be totally honest with you. So that's my one gripe with the sounds, that they probably could have gone a bit better with the gun noises. But basically that is the sounds that you will get with this version, the Death to the Daleks version, and the Revelation version. Next Dalek on the list, the Death to the Daleks version. If you've got the John Pertwee with a Death Dalek, again, you'll have a rough idea of what to expect, but this one is slightly different. This time, this is a Dalek from early in the story, end of episode 1, and the Dalek ships land, and they come out, and it's the that business, and they come out, and they try to kill the Doctor and co, using their powerless weapons. The variations between this one and the previously released one is as follows. We've got the clear dome lights. There was only ever one Dalek that had the orange dome lights in that story, so, you know, that's good that we've got the variation. I'm glad about that. This one doesn't have the oval in the middle, which is a bit strange, but actually there is one Dalek in the background of that story that doesn't have the oval in its shoulders. Not sure why. And, of course, it comes with the traditional Dalek gun, as opposed to the machine gun that they get in that story. My one complaint with this figure, however, is they've got the bleeding colour wrong of the gun. The gun should be black. I don't understand how they got that wrong, seeing as right at the end of that episode, they do this. And go right up close to it. Out of focus, but you get the idea. I mean, literally, that's basically the shot. And you can see it's black. And all the other ones, they've all got black guns. I don't know why they didn't give it a black gun. You could get a bit of black paint and paint over it. I guess the reason why they didn't do it is maybe the black gun randomly on its own would look a bit off. It seems more coherent to have it silver, I must admit. It is just a shame that they didn't get it as accurate as they could do, as they did with the rest of it. But either way, I really like this version. I've always liked this colour scheme. I've always been very disappointed they never used it once. But no, I really like it, regardless of gun colour. So, you know, I really would suggest getting this one, because it's a nice colour scheme. And, of course, if you haven't got the John Pertwee set, then this is your ideal chance to get that Dalek. And then finally, we've got the Revelation version. And just like with the other ones, if you've got the Revelation Davros box set from Forbidden Planet, then you'll know what to expect with this one. It's basically the exact same version as the one that came in the box set. The only difference is the eye stalk. This time round, we've got a far more accurate eye stalk. It isn't like the Resurrection Daleks, or I think that's what we got last time. Last time we just got like a generic eye stalk. This time we have a more accurate, shorter eye stalk. There's not really a lot I can say with this. It's just exactly the same as what we got in the Revelation of the Daleks set. Is nice enough. So really, what I will have to say with this wave is, this is an ideal wave for army building. Albeit the prices are quite high. You know, they are £15 each, so it's not like, I mean, if you've got tons of money, you can buy as many as you like. But obviously, if you're going to army build, it will get pricey with these guys. You know, I doubt I'll army build any of these. I probably might get another one of those at some point, but at the moment, I'm just happy that I've got I've got them all, and you know, that'll do me fine. So and you know, this is actually for those of you who can't afford, you know, to buy all the Forbidden Planet box sets because they are ridiculously expensive. This is an ideal opportunity for you to, you know, to get to sort of get those missing Daleks and get them in your collections in some other way. So you know, I expect they might do a second wave. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know what other versions of Daleks they might plan to do. I mean, at the moment, as you can see, these are all drones, so the army building perspective is obviously key to the success of this wave. So, I mean, other Daleks they might release a Dead Planet Dalek next time. They might release, like I said, the Day of the Daleks gunmetal grey version. That'd be nice to have the metallic grey version. They could do Revelation of the Daleks, grey ones. They could probably do Remembrance of the Daleks, white and gold ones. So, you know, there's a lot of opportunities for this to expand and you know, to get more classic Daleks out there. And hopefully, you know, the success of these classic Daleks, you know, maybe it could mean that we might see some more classic series figures coming onto normal shelves. I doubt it, but you never know. It would be nice to start seeing something coming out into normal shops with cheaper prices, so it's not all just Forbidden Planet expensive prices because they're exclusives. So thank you very much for watching this review, guys. I highly recommend you track some of these down, if not all of them. I like them. Not really fussed about the talking aspect. That's a fun part of play if you're a kid, obviously. But you know, I think they're just good Daleks. They, you know, fit in well with the rest of the 5-inch line, and they look good with the rest of the collection. So my next review is going to be the Castrovalva set with the 5th Doctor and the Master's TARDIS as a column and the shrunken Logopolitan. That actually was dispatched yesterday, so that should probably be here Friday, and I'll probably review it Saturday morning, so you might actually get the review of the Castrovalva set Saturday or Sunday, so look out for that. And of course, the other review that I'll be doing, which will probably be up sometime next week, is the Pyramids of Mars set, which features Horus's 2 gold mummies and Sutek without his mask on. But I'll go into that when the set arrives in a bit more detail, because I've got quite a bit to say on that, as has a lot of people who have bought that set. So, thanks for watching this review, guys, and I shall see you in my next review.